Welcome to the Somerset News Network. I'm now in my greenhouse. We're on lockdown. We've been shut up at home for 2 weeks. Stepdaughter is bringing food to us. I'm not an at-risk category, but I don't want to catch this bug, this virus. But my wife is an at-risk category because she's got asthma. So we've been told we gotta stay put. So what we've done is for the last 2 weeks we've been out in the garden. And we've cut some oil drums up and we're going to make ourselves a little garden. We've got old pots and we've put some pallets together with old pots on the top. And what I thought I'd do is just take you through what I do. Now I've been gardening all my life, off and on, since I can remember. My grandfather was a market garden, used to do flowers. The ground here is 3 acres and it used to be full of flowers for the market in Bristol. So what I thought I'd do is just take you through our makeup of cheap seed mix. Now what I've got here, so start off with a very sandy soil from the old pots. And what we do then is we add some new potting compost to it. But this is an all-purpose one. I think it tends to be a bit coarse. So we sieve that into it. And then we put that in the pot over here. We use that later on. We don't waste anything here. Then we mix it up. We also put a little bit of fertiliser with it. And that's my seed compost. All it's cost me is a cheap bag of multi-purpose. It's got fertiliser in it, it's got a bit of sand in it, and it's just right for seeds. Then what we do is we put it in a seed tray, and then we plant some seeds. Here's some leaf seed lettuce, and it's mixed. And it's sort of reddy coloured leaves and green. Looks like it might even have some rocket in it as well, but all we do is just gently sprinkle the seeds on the tray. Don't use all of it, because we can plant some more later. And then a little coating of the potting compost, get rid of the stones. Then water it in. This is easy. All you've got to do now is just keep it moist, keep it warm, don't let the frost get to it. And you've got lettuces coming up. Later on we might pot them out into like window boxes or something like that you can, and it's cut and come again lettuce. What I got here is some disposable seed trays that will break down. Biodegradable, I suppose you'd call them now. But what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and plant some beetroot, because beetroot doesn't transplant very well. And we haven't got any ground made up, so what we're going to do is we're going to try and put them in and we're going to put one in each one. And then we break them off and then put them into pots on the staging that we've made up. Don't know if it's going to be any good, but like they say in the movies, there's only one way to find out. And this is only an experiment, I've never done it before. It's just an idea. and just cover them over lightly, and once again water them in. Just keep these moist, don't get them too wet, because the pots will fall to pieces. In the corner here, we've done these last Thursday. We have runner beans, peas and dwarf French beans. We've got 2 pots with runner beans in, because they'll be planted out into the oil drums later on. And then we'll have 1 drum of French beans and 1 drum of peas. Let's have a look at the seeds we've got planted over here. This is what we've done this week. We got spring onions in the second one there on the... That one we got leeks. Then we have 2 types of cabbages, an 8-week cabbage and a large cabbage. And then we have large lettuces. And then we have the lettuces I've just planted, the mixed ones for salads, and then the beetroot. All we've got to do, give them sunshine, keep them moist, and they'll just all grow. You wait and see. I think gardening is magic. You just never know how many you're going to get up. You don't know if the seed's any good that you've bought. All you do is hope and pray that everything you've put in comes up. We will see what happens. What we've done is taken oil drums, cut them in half, put an inch and a half of gravel in the bottom, and now we're going to put some first potatoes in. We put a load of manure in, and this manure is horse manure. And it's seasoned for about 2 years. And we had 8 potatoes in the packet of Charlottes, which were a first early. Put those in, and then cover them with compost. This is out of our compost bin on the top. Farmer dropped off the horse manure earlier this morning, and just fill it up. Now the second one, we put a mound on it because this is going to sink down, and we'll put some more manure on it later. We've got some Desiree. Now Desiree are a bigger potato. So we put 4 in a pot, and we filled up another 2 halved oil drums. Now as you can see, this is almost up to the top, but these will sink down. As it gets wet and as the compost still breaks down, it will sink down. So I'm expecting this to drop by about 4 or 5 inches from the top. So fill it right up, real big mound of earth on top. And the compost bin hasn't been emptied for 3 years that I know of. We've got 2 compost bins, and we do them in rotation. And it's old pots, grass cuttings, the muck out of the chickens, all goes in there, and we just let it rot down. See one mistake I made, I got the light of the shadow of the camera on the video. I'm sorry about that, that's my fault. But we will have potatoes. We haven't done any digging.